Hi, Scott Messina here. Welcome to the Messina Connection, where we cover sports, music, people, and a little bit of politics. Can you handle the conversation? Welcome to the Messina Connection. I am Scott Messina, and I have a very special guest. Very, very, very unbelievable artist. You're going to learn all about him. Jay Valdimir, welcome to the podcast, buddy.
Pleasure. It is a pleasure to be here, man. You've been hunting me down. I've been hunting you down, and we just figured out how to connect.
We talked about it. We talked about it. Had to cancel once because you weren't feeling well. I'm so glad you're feeling better, and we're able to make it. And we have a lot of mutual friends, a lot of mutual things, and over the years, I guess it's been about the last year or two. You and I became friends and started talking, and then I started seeing your artwork. As a matter of fact, and I'm going to let you. I want you to talk so much about yourself because I actually know you as a photographer first.
Yes.
So that's where we became. Yeah.
That's very rare now because I think people are forgetting that. So that's it. I think it all comes together as a transition of like who you. It's almost like, let's say you were a track runner, and then your reality is that you turn out to be an amazing basketball player, right? Like, I guess it all comes together, but it's weird because when people do say photography now, people they don't even put it together anymore.
But until they see your pictures, I mean,
Until they see it, right.
it's almost like not only are you an artist, but you're also your photo art is where it started, and your composition as a photographer myself, your composition is amazing. So I knew you from that, and then I started seeing some of the pieces you were doing for others, and I'm like, by the end of this podcast, I want one. No, you don't have to do it by the end of the content. I just want us to talk it out and make it happen.
I need the paints. My laptop.
Yeah. So So tell the viewers about yourself and everything you do and
Well, it's crazy because so I have like I would say about 15, 20 years of the art of photography. Like in 2001, I moved to New York and I just started dabbling. I wanted to be a model. Back then, I thought I was it. But when you meet 6'2" people that have blue eyes and surfer bodies, and that career went straight to the hole. So I needed to create. I needed to I wanted to stay in the industry. So that's how I got into photography. Once I got into photography, the weird part is that I always say that there's a difference between, and this goes to even musicians especially, because I've heard that from musicians. They go, there's human ability and there's divine ability. And the reality is that human ability is like, you can sing a song at karaoke and they say, man, that's awesome. But but when it's divine ability of what you do, like you're gifted to it, you can sing the same song and make people cry.
yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So
Well, they call it greatness.
yeah, yeah, like
They call it greatness.
no one can sing the song, no one can sing like the Google Doll songs like the guy himself, right? You know what I mean? It's like because or Bon Jovi, like that Steel Horse song where he sings, they feel those vibrations, you know what I mean?
It's so funny you say that because I always tell people I've never worried about competition, whether it's DJ world, whether it's real estate world, and I'll tell you why. Let's just take DJ world for example, on the lines of exactly what you're speaking about. Dude, I will tell you exactly what to play, how to play it, what to say, what to do. But guess what? You're not me. So it doesn't even reflect whatsoever. It doesn't reflect anything as far as, and it's not arrogance. It's just confidence of doing it for so many years.
Right.
And I feel that in your art. Like,
Yeah.
dude, you can, and I want to get into that because you can tell somebody exactly how you're painting and what it stands for and what it is, but they're not painting. And that's the beautiful thing about art. It's so subjective. It's so
Right.
objective. It's just beautiful, man.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's crazy because it's something that I didn't even know I had in me. And I'll tell you, I'll get to that where, like, kind of just it fell, it just was destiny itself. Because what people don't know, and I'm probably going to talk about it. This is my first podcast to talk about it. Is so I had my career and I did my thing. And when we were meeting, I was still doing photo shoots. I moved to Orlando, and I was doing it.
from where?
Well, I was in New York, and then I just from there I went to Orlando for a little bit, Miami, back and forth kind of thing. But
Nice.
then Orlando was like the spot I wanted to be at. But here was this was a situation is that you get so used to. I guess I was. I guess I was just gifted at photography or gifted in that kind of, as an artist, you just, for some reason, people ask you, how'd you get that photo? And you really, and it sounds so crazy because you almost sound uneducated, but I'm like, I don't know. I just have the eye. I just take the photo. I see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's hard to explain it because there is no theory to it. There's no like, I'm not that photographer that says, oh, you gotta change this and that, and then you gotta do a light meter, and then you gotta pause and sip coffee, and you know what I mean. I'm just like, hey man, I see the moment, and I just grab it. I just
Yeah.
capture it. That's it. Like my eyes see it, and I'm like, I see it.
Yeah.
And so I did that for a while, but what happened, and here's what's crazy with my back then with my agent, it was one of those things that you know where you're living comfortable. You
Hmm.
follow me? Like you're just living, you're playing your career safe. You know what I
You
mean?
feel the word I think you're looking for is complacent.
Yeah, you kind of just you're getting paid for what you're doing. You're doing a great job, but it's just you're not almost like you in a way, and this may sound bad how I say it, but you don't take it serious because it's so easy. You're
Hmm.
just having whatever. So I knew there was that empty void, but it didn't connect until one day 5 years ago my agent passed away.
Mm.
His name was Poplin, and he literally had COVID. Just
Oh wow,
and
man.
he went on a Friday to, I think, Celebration Hospital and didn't come back. And I think that kind of rocked me. And I think that was the time frame you met me. I didn't really talk about it or tell people. I just, did a post like, hey, I'm gonna kind of, slow down. But I went into this vicious cycle of just kind of like really just going out. And yeah, I think that's where even you would see me. I just go out, have drinks, and kind of like just play it like very surface level, horizontal.
Right, right.
Hey, just every day, just going out. Nothing really put me together in the aspect of like what's next. And I think in the beginning of my photography, I remember how I was like, what's next, what campaign can I do, what project can I do? And I think that died, especially when my agent passed away, because he was like an uncle to me.
Yeah, and you agree, and it's called grieving. I
Yeah,
mean, there's no expiration date on grieving, man. I
right.
mean, I mean, you. I'm sure he helped you with your career,
Oh,
and
absolutely, 100%.
and sometimes you just got to pause, and that's what it sounds like you did. So you
Yeah,
paused, and onward and upward, and
yeah,
you're here, he's not. I have similar situations where like they're not here, I am. I'm going to make the most of it, and that's
right.
what you did with your art.
Yeah.
You know,
So I mean, and it's weird because I think about it, and it's like, man, I wish there's moments I say, I wish you could see where we're going and where I'm ending, and it's one of those things that um uh I guess it did like probably like about a year or two where I was just cruising, and then one day I was like, man, I realized I saw on paper I was just blowing through money, and I was just the jobs weren't coming because with COVID, remember, everybody was
yeah,
kind of like, hey, we can't do this project because we can't meet up
pivot,
there. Yeah,
pivot, pivot,
right.
survival.
And I was I'm in when I tell, and I hope photographers don't get upset when I say this, but there's not a lot of photographers that can make a business structurally that can, that you can take off, in the summers, and you have to be a real good business person to be like, okay, I got to get the right photographer stuff. I'm one of those people that, hey, if my hands aren't on it, I just, it's not me, right? So to me, I started seeing that people weren't calling because agencies weren't calling because they weren't doing it, and I could see, wow, I'm like, I got to think of something to do because in the service business, if I don't, if I'm sick, nobody else is gonna take the photo.
That's right.
So
You are your own brand.
right, right. Because I just felt like, to
Hmm.
me, I call it it's a little selfish, but I knew that I wanted to, I wanted my hands always to be on it because I felt like then at the end of the day, I can say that's the best we got that day. I extracted all the emotion out of that, and it was good. It was good, but I knew I needed to find something else to do. So what happened? This is how it kind of come together. I started I did these beautiful portraits of models,
Hmm.
and I had them just kind of like in files.
Hmm.
And I said, man, and I've always been a fan of Jackson Pollock and Andy Warhol. I was just big fans, and
Oh yeah,
Michelangelo. Those are like my three,
geniuses,
yeah, those are like my
icon.
three favorite. And then when it comes to like in real time, Damien Hirst is my one of my absolute favorites. And so I always was a fan of art. And it's funny because I got this portrait and I printed it out of 24 by 36, and then I got a canvas from Michaels and I said, something, this weekend I got nothing to do. I'm just gonna put some paint on it and do a couple little things. And then I don't know what happened, but it was the first time that I felt and it's weird because it wasn't even complete, but I felt complete. I felt like two roads of my life has crossed. Like I felt almost like I connected with like my family heirlooms of just talent. I can't explain it. It's the weirdest
It's
thing.
called divine intervention.
Yeah, it was like when that paintbrush, and I didn't even know how to really even use a paintbrush. I was just putting paint and kind of doing I see it on YouTube how these artists were doing it. I just kind of like did it and stuff. And let me tell you that when I finished that artwork and I posted it, it was like I showed up out of nowhere. You know what I
Wow.
mean? Like they were like, "Oh, that's awesome. I need one." It wasn't like before with photography, it's like, "Ooh, that," because the photography it was like, "Oh, that's a great photo. That's awesome, dude." Everything, It was one of those like I almost created a product.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
And I
100%.
couldn't explain it because in reality, I was like, I didn't even been to school for art, and so that was technically, and I tell this to people, I go, your success is on the other side of fear. I guess I just played it so safe that I didn't want to. I was literally just living in my fear because I didn't want to push something else. I didn't.
Fear and sadness.
Yeah, exactly.
Fear and
Hey,
sadness.
that's a
And they
key
kind of,
thing.
I mean, we can, I know how bad you wanted to talk about politics and religion. I'm sure. Vlad said, no, no politics, no religion. And I'm like, no problem, man. I'm like, we're going to talk art, but you really, I'm sorry, you crossed the path into divine intervention. That's why you're here. And this isn't a religious statement at all, but there's demons that are always trying to beat people up like us. That
Absolutely.
are the big thinkers, that are the big and those who don't see that, man, I'm telling you, it's real. I've been living it. I've
Yeah.
seen what not to do.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, I've had that nasty contract in front of me several times, and I'd probably be a billionaire if I signed it. But you know what?
Oh,
I'm gonna look my
so you
kids in
still,
the
yeah.
face. I won't do it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
won't.
yeah.
I won't do it. And now with everything coming out from Diddy stuff to all
Oh,
this, and man, I'm sitting back like, and I'm not. I'm digressing here. But when I die, the first person besides Jesus I'm going to hug is going to be my guardian angel because I cannot tell you how many times I've been saved, and I'm sure you
absolutely.
can. You
Oh
have
yeah.
stories
Oh
that are
yeah. Oh yeah.
similar.
And like I said, I know I was when we were talking about like no politics, religion, but the reality is, if I took this side the shirt off, I do have a tattoo that says like property of God because I realized I've been my life and I'm be truthfully honest has always been like this. I've
Hmm.
had my goods, my bads. I've danced with the devil and I've danced with God and I've done this with photography and everything. But what I realized, I always feel, and I don't know, and I can't explain, but I always feels like, don't worry, son, we're gonna get you there. You just gotta keep focus and trust the process, and I'll get you there. Because we're human clay,
Amen.
we're
Hey,
human feet, human clay, and so I get you, me
but
and you are the
I
same.
understand what you were saying
Yeah.
too, because I agree. I don't think celebrities, and especially, you're growing quick. That's why I was so eager. I was excited to get you on here. I see our acquaintances. I see the people in our circles, the excitement they have, and I see you growing, like,
Thank you.
not that weren't already at a certain level, but I see you getting to that next level, and then the next level and the next level.
All right,
And
get that art piece ready.
there you go. There you go. So, and I was like, I had questions, and we're going to take a break right now because I want to get back into the art. I want to talk about your movement. We're
Yes,
going to go into that, and then we're
yes,
going to end
100%.
the podcast talking about this unbelievable event you had at the private London house 2 weeks ago, man.
Yeah,
That was insane with our lovely friend Nora,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
and the whole crew over at London House. Unbelievable, and I want to talk about that. And so yeah, man, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We are back with the Messina Connection. My buddy Jay Vladimir. First of all, you got the coolest name ever, dude. J. Vladimir, like Dracula wouldn't even contest how cool that name is, you know? It's like
Just the name.
Vladimir. Like
Yeah.
that's your government name?
Yeah. It's a Javier Vladimir, but to me it's funny because I just said I'm just gonna take well, everyone couldn't pronounce my first name, so they just called me by the letter, like Jay, and it just stuck. And then when I started doing photography, I just made it easier for everybody to say Jay Vladimir, and then it just people that were close to me would call me like JV or Vlad or
I got you Vlad on my phone.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of did its own, thing. And then after a while, it just stuck to me. So I built the brand of photography with that. And then after I started doing the art, I didn't realize that it just kind of, flowed into it.
Perfect,
You know
dude.
what I mean? It
It's
was
a whether people probably think it's so cool, they think it's a stage name.
yeah, no, exactly.
And
Exactly.
I'm like, no, that's my dude's name. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it's what it is. And this is what it is. This is his signature.
Yeah,
This is cool. And I want
the
to this is what I wanted to do, if we can do it this
yeah,
way.
the red
I
stripe.
want to read what the red stripe represents
Yes,
and then have
yes.
you discuss it because at first, man, I dude, before we were friends, I looked at this thing and I was a little confused. And then I read this and got inspired.
Yeah.
I was looking at it like, man, is this some eyes wide shut? Bro, is this Illuminati eyes wide shut thing going on? I'm like, I ain't doing. I'm like, what the
I
hell?
want to write
I'm
this
not
down.
being rude. I'm
No, I
not being
love it.
disrespectful. But at first,
Oh, a
you
lot of
know,
people, yeah.
and then all of a sudden, let me go ahead, look into center camera and read this. The stripe represents the moment life interrupts us. Quote, not to destroy us, to mark us. It's the moment you loved harder than you planned, a moment you lost something that changed you, the moment you realized you had to become someone new to survive, which goes along with what we were talking
Yeah.
about earlier. I don't finish my art on purpose because the final meaning doesn't belong to me. It belongs to you. My man.
I love that. It's my
My
favorite.
man. That's deep. So go ahead and elaborate on that.
Well, so, you know, and I think this goes, I guess I have to give homage, like just honor to the people that kind of got me to this level, like, like my mom and people like that are even not around, like Andy Warhol or Basquiat, these artists, because I feel I understand at the end of the day, all I'm doing is trying to express myself to get like in a way my own therapy of completion, if that makes sense. And I realized when I looked at people like Andy Warhol or Marilyn Monroe with their eyes, I felt like I felt like it completed the image, and I said, "Oh, Marilyn Monroe," and in the conversation ended. Because you wouldn't my mind wouldn't think of the movie she was in. I just said that's a cool photo or a cool image or an art piece, right? What I did is with the stripe. With the stripe, what it does, it's the only time that your mind has to complete the artwork and see their eyes because you have to put it together. You have to create you have to create almost like a movie role in your mind to see. Like I have a stripe that has Elvis. I don't name my pieces, and everyone says that's Elvis. You literally are the conduit of my work.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to be the artist that says this is what it stands for and tell you everything and shove it down your throat of all the explanation what it is, and then you go, oh no, I wanted to reverse that. I wanted to break the system. I wanted to be like, this is my artwork, and you're the one who looks at it and says, whoa, I know who that is, and you complete it. And I see that all the time. There's people that ask me to do commission work, and they automatically, when they get the stripe, all their friends can see them, and they start thinking of the memories. They start thinking of the stories because for some reason, this is the freaky part. They say, I kind of see their eyes.
Mm.
It's weird because what
Wow.
happens, what happens is me and you, if I do an artwork and I give you the brush and I say, brother, just finish this piece,
Right.
that would be amazing. No artist is going to do that. But when I put the stripe, you enter this community, you enter this world, the red stripe of a way where you go, wow, he's allowing me to finish the art. And it's crazy.
It's yeah. And I don't want to give all your trade secrets like Bush Beans recipe or anything like that.
They are really good.
But we
They're
did
super
talk
good.
about the ending thing you do on all your art pieces, which blew my mind.
Oh, a couple of neat
The
things.
crushed, well,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and I don't know how much you want to speak on that, but
Yeah.
I thought that was, and I've seen your artwork, Nora's wedding.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, man, I need to get a picture of that and
No,
show the
there's
viewing audience that was beautiful.
now those pieces are different because those pieces I only have about 6 or 7 in circulation that I don't even put a stripe on. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And when I don't put a stripe on it, when I do a piece for someone like that, it's crazy because it's honestly, it's almost like I'm coming out of I'm going to that next level of my work where he goes, wow, he really stepped out because he could have, you know?
But getting the eyes right is the
Yeah.
hardest thing of any photographer,
Yeah.
any artist getting the eyes right.
Yeah.
And you captured on her very special day, you captured that beautifully. The Marilyn Monroe and the Elvis and all
The
the,
event, the event,
it's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, it's just, and let's talk about that event. It was packed.
So, so, uh, Andy Warhol used to say, he goes, selling art is art. Like you could be, there's two artists. There's an artist that is the struggling artist that I was, that I've been homeless. I've had my vehicle repoed. I've had -$1,000, bank account statements. I've everything you can think of. I've been there. But at the end of the day, I am that artist that says, I don't have a plan B. I'm gonna burn the boats at the shore, that mentality. And I'm just going to keep pushing and I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep going forward, forward, forward until things change. So I've been in that field. And so these 2 years I can see that there's sweat and equity in there, And so I knew that if I'm going to do art, I also have to be a great business person for it too. I can't, you can't just say, "Hey, I'm an artist and I'm just going to do my thing." And if you don't like it, you don't like it. No, I have to be the artist that goes, can I believe in my brand so much that I can go global? Do I believe in it
If you
enough?
don't believe in it, nobody else will.
Right, exactly.
But just to tell you, you're going global right now because I showcases worldwide. Dude, I got fans. I'm going to brag. I'll brag on this part. Austria,
Do
Australia,
it, do it.
Europe, Italy. I think everywhere. Obviously, we're not allowed in China, but now we're starting to really grow in South America,
I love it.
and especially with the whole Venezuela. Man, I'm telling you, I want all the Venezuelans, all the Colombians, everybody to know your art, to know
Thank you.
the Messina Connection, just to spread the word, spread the art, spread the goodness. This event, I'm gonna go back to this. This thing was packed. This is when I was like, my man's arriving, or he has arrived, and it was like a
We're getting
mini
there.
Oscars pre-party. It was wild. I mean, you
Yeah.
walked in there, all of your art was displayed.
Mhm.
I can only imagine how many commissions you were able to book on that event itself because without going into detail, everybody in this establishment is wealthy, well off. And not that that matters. It just, it matters. And it was like when you're, I think the thing I've learned about wealthy people is they get bored easily. And when they see something different
Yeah.
or they want it.
Right, right. No,
That's
that's
what.
true.
Why do people pay $60 million for Picassos? I've seen them. I've walked into. I'm not even mention names. I've walked into a lobby of a home, and I've seen 60 million and 60 million Picassos up on the wall in the lobby, and I'm over there like, why do they do that?
Yeah.
Because they're one of ones.
The one-on-ones.
They're one of ones, and
Yeah.
people like nobody else has that Picasso, and I think you're on the way. I just saw the excitement of what was going on. So tell us, what was the outcome thus far? It was only two to
Yeah.
3 weeks ago,
So
but
yeah, no, about I think yeah, about 3 weeks ago. So I've done, and this is when I knew one of my close friends called me and he said I can't make it, and so but he said, you know what's crazy? I'm all the way over here and people are talking about it, and he said, and he in the phone he's like, brother, you have a brand.
yeah.
And when he said that, and this is a guy who's, he does a lot of media. He's very influential in the world of politics. And so he said, you got a brand. And when he said that, I sat back and I said, I've created something where it has become a community, and that's hard to do. That really is hard because you could be a cobbler making shoes, but no one's gonna be Nike. Nike made a brand. They made a culture. They made something that is
They
real.
did.
And so I knew that when he said that, I knew that I was in the and one of my goals was like I want to make cultural currency. I want people to look at the work and like love it so much that that piece is 3 generations in. It says, "Hey, this is a JV piece. He's not around, but let me tell you, if 3 generations down the road, if you're having a rough time, it's like we can get a loan."
It's your legacy.
Yeah,
It's like Thomas Kincaid,
yeah, right.
the artist of light,
Yeah,
and he's not with us any longer, but I always loved his art.
yeah,
And Weiland's still with us doing the undersea stuff, and but these are legacy pieces. This is stuff that will last,
right.
generations and generations. And the thing I love about what you're doing, your brand and your art, is the fact that you're doing it because you love to do it, because
Oh,
you've gone through those hard times. Everything you were speaking was like entrepreneurial 101. My
right.
boy, somebody wrote me the other day and said, "You don't know if you only know if you're a real entrepreneur by the amount of failed T-shirts you have in your closet." And I was like, "Yeah, I probably got 6 or 7 in
Yeah,
there, starting like 2019, no, earlier before that, 1990. I started 1992, so it was like, oh my gosh." I'm like, "Yeah, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen." So the failures just make you stronger, make you grow.
yeah.
And I have something for you, by the way. Boom.
I love it.
Can you t
I love it.
can you tell what day by my shirt? Can you tell what day that is?
Was that
It was Cinco. Oh, I walked across the street, walked over, smoked a cigar, and I said, I actually had one that was a little bit more vulgar, and I was like, I can't do that to my boy Black. This is when before I knew you were sick. I
Yeah,
was like, dude, we got to get this
I
done.
know this is
And
amazing.
so I showed that to some friends, and they're like, man, you got to post that, man. You got to post. I was like, no, I'm going to show it
That's
to
gonna be the
them.
cover right there.
There it is. There it is. That's for
I
you,
love
man.
it. I freaking love it.
No, I think it's funny. I think, now that I have a full understanding of what everything is about, and the truth of you
Yeah.
and your story, and I can't thank you enough for sharing, man. I mean, I think I'd love to have you back on. I'm going to show some all the viewers once I get some pictures from you. I'm going to show them your whatever artwork you're willing to let me show them, and we'll have all your information on there. You got to call this guy if you want a commission piece. I don't know. You might be like me. I'm very selective. I don't do everything for
That's
anybody.
understood.
I'm very
That's understood.
selective. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, and I have another really good friend of mine up in she lives in Myrtle Beach, Michelle, and I've been with her. I've known her since 1981, and she's she gets select. You start getting selective because not every commission piece or every client is a good client. I don't want drama, man. I'm too old for that. No more drama. No more So anyway, here's Vlad's information. Make sure you check him out. Follow him on Instagram. Tell him how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah, so it's very simple. It's not complex. If you just go on Instagram, the letter J dot Vladimir, and you will find me. Again, the Red Stripe Society is a community of where for the first time that I want you to be a part of my art. So please touch base with me. Nothing's too big. I got a couple projects in the works right now. I'll be doing a humongous mural soon
Love that.
for Orlando, and I have huge projects that I'll tell you in the future that they're awesome. They're good stuff. And at the same time, the reality is I think I tell people do not stop pressing, pushing, jumping, running towards where you honestly find complete happiness in that aspect. And I don't
Enjoy.
mean right, like because the thing is I could have easily turned around and kept doing photography or kept doing something else and I would always have that empty little hole. You know what I'm talking about, that little like it's just not enough. And so I encourage people to always just keep pressing through, and my pops used to always say, he would always say, your success is on the other side of fear. So it's one of those things you just got to keep. And now I talk about it because I'm a true witness of it. Do you know what I mean? Like
No, that's a great, great quote, man. I mean, fear ruins dreams.
absolutely.
The devil wants your dreams ruined.
You ever heard that quote? And I forget who said it. I think it was a motivational speaker said it like, you want to know where all the treasures in the world are? Go to a cemetery.
Oh, damn.
Because
No,
yeah, because think about it. Some people
you're
just
right.
die with those dreams. They never did anything with them.
It's crazy. It's crazy if you really think about it. Why are we here? What's our
Yeah,
mission?
yeah,
Every talent we have, God gave it to us, and He wants us to express it any way we can. You touched on something. There's a difference between being happy and having living a joyful life. Do you know the difference?
Do I know the difference? One is surface and one is internal. Like one's
Very
yeah,
good.
yeah.
So like happy. I'll be happy as hell if I went out there and bought. Oh my God, I saw one the other night. BMW 760i.
Oh, nice.
Woo! I was like, now that would make me happy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that would.
What would bring joy to my life is going into the studio and dropping my new DJ Crazy Scott album and being able to just fulfill people's soul with my
Right,
art
right.
of music or
Yeah.
my art of speaking to people and relating in great interviews like this and
Yeah.
talking to people and saying, you know, my goal for all the podcasts that I have going on, this being mine personally, is what if we just change the life of one person and make them think differently?
You think?
Even with your fear statement, that is so true, but not everybody has gone through what we've gone through. We've
Right.
learned that over the course of decades and getting kicked in the, all
Yeah.
we've learned that. And that's what's made us hard, to kick down.
Oh yeah.
I can do bad by myself. I don't need somebody to help me.
No, and what's crazy when people say they want to be an entrepreneur, I'm like, huh, get ready. You don't get vacations. You don't get call. You don't get like the 5 o'clock you're done work. I mean, you do. You live and die on the sword. You seriously, you sharpen yourself because no one's there to, the and you know this because of the work you do is that if you do not press 100%, because there is a level, and I tell this to a lot of people, it is easy to be good, but it is a different level to be extraordinary. Everyone loves good. Good you could gets you the 401k and a nice home at the beach and all that. Good is good, but extraordinary is that stuff where you're like, we've changed, we've changed countries, we've changed movements, we have literally it's changed a fractional ground level stuff. You know
It's
what I mean?
greatness.
Yeah, greatness, and that, and I got that seeing just Jordan because I'm Michael Jordan like generation, and it's like when you see him, he would talk junk, and he would even yell at his own
Yeah.
players because he said, "I don't want good, I want excellent, I
Yeah.
want the best of
They
the best."
think they think different, man.
Yeah,
Jordan,
yeah,
Jordan, and a longtime family friend who's a Hall of Famer also. You are who you surround yourself with, and the
yep.
best instrument God ever made are your ears. Sometimes you sit back and you listen, and the way they think, the way they calibrate, the way it's different. And I'm grateful for the conversations that have been had in the past and how much I've learned. You are who you hang with. But
Right.
they say you want to know where you're going to be in 3 years. Look at your top 3 to 5 friends that you're hanging with, and it's so true. It's so true because you hang around a bunch of people getting in mischief, trouble, and all this. That's who you're going to be.
Yeah.
You hang around, winners, you're going to be a winner. It's gravitate. It's like
Right.
the law of attraction. You're going to be a winner if you hang with winners.
Right.
If it's maybe one little thing they say to you, not that they have to write checks and do it, just one little thing or just a story or like, man, that's cool, and now I'm getting with all the gray, getting to that age where I'm able
See
to
that
really
beer's
help
still
people.
that beer's still
I,
good.
I showcase music, man. I want to help these independent artists who really, it is a tough world out there in the music industry, man. As tough as it is in the art industry of making a brand and the name, the music industry is so saturated, it breaks my heart. So, like, I can give them a platform to get people to listen that they otherwise wouldn't know who that was, right? That's what that's about. And then, ask Tammy. I had to give Tammy her own podcast because she knows everything. No, I'm joking.
But
No, it was teamwork with she and I.
like, that's a perfect example. Like to me, they say, "What do you need in life?" Like for me, I pay the full amount of like Spotify and every music company that has that music. Because to me, music is like my one of my driving forces of my art. Do you know what I mean? Because the mood, if I'm in a mood, I'm playing rock and roll, or if I'm in a different mood, I'm playing EDM, or sometimes I play classical. I mean, but like to me, that is all the artists that have come out with this, they've changed my life. Like, I like Lenny Kravitz to
Uh,
this day is one of my that is one of my favorite artists, and he has helped me through stuff, and he will never know, but he has helped me through stuff when I was in points in my life, in those intersections of like, what do I do? You know what I mean?
dude,
I mean, that's an example.
I opened for him. I opened for him at Disney, and I remember the code word was Marie Osmond because they didn't want anybody knowing that it was
Ah,
going to be. And let me tell you what I learned from that guy, legend, next level professional. I'm going to tell the story because
yeah.
we got a
Please,
second.
please.
My man was on stage. I might have told this before in another episode or something, but he's on stage. First of all, I was just opening for him, DJing, and getting the crowd pumped up and rocking and whatever.
Yeah.
And he comes out and I mean, just kills it. And all of a sudden, his guitar goes down, and I see the guitar tech just frantic. It's Lenny Kravitz guitar. He's on stage. It's a private convention that's paying him an enormous amount of money. That can't happen.
Right, right, right.
All of a sudden, the guitar guy comes out and brings him a second guitar. Can't get it working.
Oh man.
Lenny's just sitting there, calm and poised, and the crowd, the band's not playing. The band's not playing. It's almost dead silence. Third guitar comes out, and he goes ding ding ding. You could hear it's gonna work. And he goes, looks into the camera, and he goes, no, he looks out to the audience and goes, "I'd like to buy all y'all a drink." And the crowd goes crazy. And he goes into fly away. Da, 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 da. Wins it, puts him at the palm of their hand, let him go when he wanted to. Boom, goes right into fly away. The crowd goes, forgot all about it. And what felt like, honestly, to him probably 20 minutes, it was probably only 3 minutes total. But
Right.
on stage with people staring at you, man, that's an eternity, right? But what I learned from that, his poise, his professionalism, his control, superstar, superstar,
Yes.
superstar.
Yes.
Period. So I'm
Yeah.
so glad you brought him up, man.
Oh man, I'm telling you, but and that's what I'm saying. To me, I love that our common interests are also my common interests of who I am today.
Yeah.
You know, and again, it's one of the craziest things because like if I didn't have that, you probably wouldn't see the best of my work. You know what I mean?
I we'll talk about it off camera, but man, I have a song that I think would not only inspire you, but it could be it will definitely inspire you. It's an original song. I've already put it out there, and it's getting a lot of headway. And I got a ton of music, but you're onto something with this. An original music with an original art piece and selling it as the co-brand
Oh,
of just,
I love it. Well, I
let
see.
me think about it. Don't be stealing my ideas.
I love.
America, global America, world, all that. No,
Oh,
but
that's a great. That's
but
great.
like, okay, you know what? Try to steal my idea because you're not Scott and you're not Vlad. So this is what we would do, right?
That's
My man.
amazing.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Make sure you check out j.vladimir at j.vladimir on Instagram. You can also, look at the information I have on this. And man, this was great.
Yeah.
This was fun.
And when you guys go on Instagram, I have the J Vladimir store where officially we've launched our statues that are one of one.
We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, one of one, and I'll show you images and everything, so you can show your viewers. But
You did the bunny
yeah,
recently,
the
right?
bunny is our mascot, and so all my work, in case you don't know, like part of the brand itself, I don't do replicas, I don't do prints. Everything is one of one. So if you see paint splatter on a art piece, that's me. There's nothing. I couldn't. I can make a couple of different art pieces, but they'll never be the same. So now we come up with statues that are these amazing rabbits that have the red stripe.
Bro, they're heavy.
Oh yeah, they're heavy and they're awesome. They're an awesome collection, and yeah, and you have to collect all six to get the seventh one that no one knows how it looks. Literally, like it is the coolest thing.
Man, yeah, I saw him. I saw him that night, and I then I saw one of the girls try to move it, and I was like, it was double. They were double handing that thing to lift it up. I'm like, I don't know.
Because for me
Are
again,
they made out of titanium?
yeah, no, I wish. No, they're honestly they're made out of strictly stone, cement, though, and resin and paint and everything. No glass this time,
Yeah.
because you got to
See,
pick.
you gave up your I didn't say nothing, but yeah, that crushed glass is
Yeah.
what a touch on that.
Well, and there's a reason, and I always say I never keep nothing under my hat for the reason because hey, listen, the world I want to inspire the uninspired. You know what I mean? And to me, the glass, the only reason why because people always ask me why do you like putting so much glass on all your pieces because I want a barrier to show you that it is like jewelry on a wall, but at the same time you can't touch it. You can see it. It's like a ghost leopard. You rather just see than take that photo.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like when I do artwork and there's nothing that stops that barrier. I feel it's almost like you don't look at it as precious because now you're like, wow, if I touch it, this thing will cut me. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
And that relationship with art like that, it's crazy. It's mind blowing. It's like if you were standing in front of the tabernacle or whatever, and it's like, that presence. You know what I'm saying? Same effect that I did with my art. I just feel like when you look at the work, you'll see it. Everything one on one. The stones one on one. But I feel like. And I've had people, remember how you were talking about there's times you could sign those contracts. I've had people that says, man, we can do prints and we can do production and we can take you to the next level. You could be a billionaire overnight. But the problem is I can't sleep at night
Mm-mm.
because now what I'm doing, I'm just giving you a piece of paper with
Well, it's no different than somebody selling the music catalog, but they're selling it for $200 million or $5 billion, or the numbers are getting outrageous.
yeah,
I think the last one I just heard, Sting is selling his music catalog, and they're thinking they're getting older. They're in their 70s, getting in their 80s, and they're looking at so maybe now makes perfect sense. Maybe 10, 20 years from now, you may think differently. I think Thomas Kincaid, coming full circle, I think he was like that. He was like, no, never. And then all of a sudden it made sense as he got older. He probably got sicker or whatever happened to him. It is a way for the masses to all be able to have a piece of your God-given art. So I don't know. You think differently at different ages.
yeah, yeah.
And but I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying wholeheartedly. And that's a great way to end, man. This was fun. Thank you for your time. I hope you found it was going to be worth it, like I told you it would be.
Oh, we gotta bring it back.
We'll bring it back. We'll bring it back next time. We'll bring the statues on here. Make sure it doesn't mess up my nice table here. But definitely, thank you so much, and we'll be following you along the way. All right, Vlad, my man. Thanks, buddy.